Hello folks, this is Sula speaking, and because I've had so many requests, I'm going to do a video on some of the jungle basics using Warwick. I'm going to start by talking out a little bit about how to set up masteries. The key masteries that you want to have are you want to have the 4 points in awareness, that's the one that gives 5% experience gain, and you will also want, under the offensive tree, you definitely want to have a point in archaic knowledge, that's the one that gives 15% magic penetration. You'll also want to put at least 1 point into utility mastery, which is the one that increases the buff duration. 1 point will give you 15% longer buffs, 2 points will give you 30% longer buffs. You'll have to decide whether you want to put 21 points in offense for the extra damage bonus, or if you want to put 2 points into utility mastery for the 30% longer buffs. So it's up to you as far as what you want to do there. That's your call. In terms of runes, you will definitely want to have some armor and armor penetration runes in what setup. It's up to you. There's many different things you can do in terms of runes. It's up to you, but I would suggest going for armor penetration on red and going for some kind of extra armor on yellow. All right, so here we are starting out. This is a practice game with all AI bots, and the reason for that is I'm just going to go through some of the jungling stuff. I'm not going to be playing a game. You're going to start by buying towards Madrid's Razors, and I'm going to purchase the armor, cloth armor, towards that. And you can see this is Warwick's skill, Hungering Strike, which does damage and also steals some life back. So I'm going to put my first point in that. And Eternal Thirst is Warwick's passive. He has some natural life steal based on his passive. Each time that he hits an enemy, he'll steal a little bit of life back. The other skill we're going to be working with is Hunter's Call. That's his W skill, and I don't have a point in that yet, but I'll be putting points in that later on. For each point that you put in Hunter's Call, Warwick will get a little bit of extra attack speed. So those are the two skills we'll be looking at. Hungering Strike, which does damage and includes lifesteal, so the damage you do is returned, and then Hunter's Call, which will increase his attack speed. You can see they're both useful in terms of getting minions. Here's a close-up of Warwick, and now let's check out his dance. So how many of you recognize this? Hopefully you've seen this before. This is, of course, the Thriller dance from the Michael Jackson video. Very appropriate for our Halloween setting here. We can see we still got the Halloween map, even though Halloween was actually yesterday as I record this video. So happy Halloween to anyone watching. Over there, check out the amount of armor that's listed for Warwick. He has 49 armor here. He has 20 base armor, and then I'm getting another 29. 18 from that cloth armor, you can see, and then another 11 from runes, and there's Warwick's magic resistance. So starting with 49 armor as opposed to the base 20 will make a very big difference in terms of reducing the damage he takes. Okay, you're going to want to start up by the golems, at least the way I'm doing this. There are many different ways to do jungling. And the golem spawns at 155 on the timer, so keep that in mind. This is probably the most difficult part. This is where it's easiest to screw up. You want to make sure that you're attacking the golem itself, not the little lizards that surround him. You also don't want to use Hungering Strike right when you start the battle. You want to wait until you've taken a little damage, and then keep using it as soon as it comes off cooldown. Next, you want to smite the golem when he gets down to about 550 health remaining. You can see I did it a little bit early here. The reason why you don't use your smite immediately is because that means it's easier for someone else on the other team to come in and steal the buff away from you. You want to use it right at the end. So make sure that you get the kill, and then put a point in Hunter's Call. And notice this is where you need the awareness masteries, which give you increased experience. Otherwise, you will not hit level 2 after killing the golem and the two little minions that accompany it. Alright, so after getting the golem, go next to the wolves, which are right next to it. You want to kill the big wolf first. You can see that I used Hunter's Call to increase my attack speed. Made a big difference there, and notice how much slower I'm attacking now that I don't have that again. If you didn't see it, then you can notice it the next time I fight minions. So use your two skills. Use Hunter's Call to increase your attack speed. Use Hungering Strike to increase your life. You can leech it back, and notice that I'm already back to full life. I haven't used any potions, haven't used a health potion. That's just purely for Warwick's passive life steal. Next, I'm going to go to the wraiths and focus on the big wraith first, the one in the back, the blue one. This is the one that does the most damage, so you want to kill this one first. I start out by using Hunter's Call to increase my attack speed, and that'll allow me to kill that first wraith without too much trouble. And then that will be on cooldown for the rest of these fights, but I'll just pump off Hungering Strike from time to time to heal back some life. You can see right there I actually didn't have enough mana to use it. And this is a reason why Warwick, like almost all junglers, needs the golem buff. And you can see killing the wolves and then killing the wraiths will take you to level 3. But again, you need those points in awareness, otherwise it won't happen. Next, we're going to go to the lizard. And you can see that Smite is once again off of cooldown. So we'll start with Hunter's Call to increase attack speed, then use Hungering Strike occasionally. You can see whenever my life starts to get in danger, I can just leech life back. You can see I got 150 life back from that. Now Smite the Lizard when it gets close to death. I did it a little bit too early again, so that's not perfect. Technically, you should wait a little bit longer. And now we have both the red and the blue buffs. And so you can see each of my attacks against the little lizards is slowing them. And I used Hunter's Call once again there to increase my attack speed at the end. So Warwick now has double buffs. After finishing off the lizards, you want to go to the double golems, the 2 golems, not the one that gives you the blue buff that's down here. So once again, just keep using your skills. You shouldn't have any trouble. Notice that I haven't had to use my health potion, my candy corn on the Halloween map. Haven't had to use that. I had it in case I would need it, but I didn't. Other champions who don't have Warwick's lifesteal will need to purchase more health potions, and it's a little bit tougher. So after killing the 2 columns, you'll go to level 4, and immediately recall back to base because now you have enough gold to buy Magic Razors. You can see increases damage, increases armor, and it has a unique passive that you have a 15% chance on attack to deal 500 damage to a minion. So in other words, this is really a perfect item for jungling. Magic Razors, if you're jungling, you probably want to go for this item first. Definitely if you're Warwick, I'm less certain for other champs. Other champs might be building different things, but if you're jungling Warwick, this is #1 item you want to go for, Magic Razors. And then because it also builds into Magic's Blood Razors, which is another key item for Warwick that you'll be getting later on. Okay, so now the wolves are back up again, so we're going to go straight for the wolves. I'm going to use my 2 skills again, and that'll allow me to kill the big wolf. Always go for the most dangerous minion first. There you could see the Magic Razor's passive kicked in and dealt 500 damage, and it killed the little wolves instantly. So after doing the wolves, we'll go straight to the wraiths again, which you can see are back up. So we'll head to them again. Going to go for the blue wraith first. I am actually going to smite it and kill the big one immediately. And you might ask, well, why am I over here way on the right side? Well, I don't want Master Yi, the Yi bot in the middle, to steal my experience. So I'm going to put myself as far away from Yi bot as possible in order to get the kill on the wraiths. Next, I'm going to go for the ancient golems. And you can see they haven't spawned just yet. In fact, they won't spawn for about another 10 to 15 seconds. And so, in other words, you can do the jungle in a better way than I did it here. I'm still not an expert on jungling, and there are many different ways to do this. So I killed the 2 golems, I think, at about 4:48, and they spawn after, I think it's either 90 or 100 seconds. So you can see there they are back up again. Didn't have to wait too long, just a little bit. You can also see I screwed up here. I accidentally was attacking 1 golem while I used my Hungering Strike on another. So that's a minor mistake, but it is a little mistake. Alright, so we finish off the golems. I've leveled up again. You can see I've put all my points into either Hungering Strike and Hunter's Call. 3 points in Hungering Strike, 2 points in Hunter's Call. I believe that you can reverse the order too if you want to emphasize the attack speed more. Doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. Like I said, it's up to you. There's a lot of different ways to jungle. You can figure it out on your own. Now the wolves will be back up shortly, but I'm going to, on this playthrough, go straight for the original Ancient Golem, the blue buff. If you remember, I killed that at about 2:20 on the clock initially, and the red and blue buffs will spawn 5 minutes after killing them, so we'll be back up in about 5 more seconds. Again, there's a little downtime here, and you can see the wolves have actually spawned if you look on the minimap, so it probably would be better to go for the wolves and then go for the golem, just in terms of speed and efficiency. So once again, it should be up any second now. There it is. You can see, so I'm going to start by using Hunter's Call once again, increase attack speed, and then as I take damage, that'll go into Hungering Strikes. You can see I leech back all the life that I've lost, and now we'll continue attacking. Just wait for the smite, and again, I use it a little bit early, but it's not that big a deal. Use Smite, get the kill, finish off the 2 little lizards that accompany the golem. Here, I'm actually not going to use my skills because I'd like to have the golem buff just refill my mana, and you can see I'm in no danger of taking damage. Now we'll go back to the wolves again, just get them in passing as we go through. Once again, go for the big wolf first. I'll just use Hunter's Call to increase attack speed, and you can see Madrid's actually kicked in quite a few times there. I think I got it 3 different times in like 5 or 6 attacks, so yay, got done the wolves really fast there. Now we'll keep going, and we'll pick up the wraiths next, since they've already spawned. As usual, go for the big wraith first, and there the pathfinding has a little bit of an issue. And once again, Madrid kills it almost instantly. And again, that's just random. You have a 15% chance on each attack to deal 500 damage to a minion. So sometimes you'll kill them really fast, sometimes you won't. Next, I'm going to go for the Ancient Golems. And one other thing to consider, if I had gone for the Wraiths before the Lizard, or excuse me, if I had gone for the Lizard before the Wraiths initially, the Lizard would be back up right now. So that might, again, be a more optimal way to do this. It might be a better way to do the jungling. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure this out much. I don't play junglers very much. I'm just sort of trying to show you one way you can do this. Once again, we use Hunter's Call, increase attack speed, then Hungering Strike to bring back my health, and you can see it's relatively easy to take down the golems. And now Warwick's level 6, I leveled up in the previous fight, so now he has his ultimate, Infinite Duress, which allows him to jump on people. Warwick can actually, now we're going to go for the dragon and get the global benefit for the rest of the team. Warwick can actually go for the dragon much earlier. You can do the dragon as early as level 4. I'm trying to show sort of a more conservative way of jungling here. I'm also not running around in the enemy team's jungle, which you can do, although it's risky to do. So I'm going to use my skills as usual. Hunter's Call, Hungering Strike when I need it. I'm going to use my potion that I bought way back when during the fight, just for safety's sake. I don't really need it, but I'll use it here anyway. Keep an eye on the dragon's health in the top left corner. When it gets down under 1,000, we want to smite it. Now, when you're doing this in a real environment with a team, you want to make sure you're communicating with your teammates so that you don't get hit by the other team at the jungle, or at the dragon, excuse me. You want to make sure that the people in the bottom lane and in the middle lane are communicating with you to make sure that you're safe here. Now, after getting the dragon, usually you want to go to the bottom lane and you want to try to kill someone. Again, in a normal team environment, what you'll be looking to do is you want to have the other team have the lane pushed real far forward. Like, you want them to be up by your tower so that there's plenty of room for you to come out of the bushes behind them and then jump on them with your ultimate, slow them, and kill them. Ideally, you'll also have the Lizard buff, which I don't have here, and again, that could be done through better jungling, but ideally you'd have both the Golem buff and the Lizard buff, so you could jump on them, slow them down, and hopefully get an easy kill. Instead, because I'm playing with bots who, of course, have no clue what they're doing, I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that the lane was pushed so far forward in order to get in some shots of the tower. I think that if I can get this tower down, then I'll have a chance, I'll have some room to maneuver, and then I can maybe kill some of these enemy champions. So here comes Alistar bot and Soraka bot. These are two of the weakest bots. I mean, all the bots are pretty bad, but Alistar bot is easily the dumbest of the AI bots in this game. Like, he just has no clue what he's doing. So I'm going to ignore the two of them. I'm going to push down this tower, which only has 100 life left. So get that, and now I can engage with the enemy team. I want to go after Soraka, but instead Alistar comes forward. So I was like, okay, Alistar, if you want to fight, let's go. I'm going to pop off Hunter's Call, increase my attack speed, take a bite out of him with Hungering Strike, and then use my ultimate, Infinite Duress. That's where Warwick jumps on somebody and stuns them briefly. So I'll jump on Alistar, and that's a pretty easy kill to get, at least against the AI bot. Now you can see I'm attacking these minions, and even though Soraka's just sort of wailing on me, it has no effect because Warwick's stealing back life with every single attack. I'm going to put a point in Blood Scent, his E ability now, which I've skipped so far, what that does is Warwick can sense enemy champs that are about to die, and if they're near him, he will gain increased increased movement. So here I'm going to use Hunter's Call once again, and there goes Blood Scent. That's the little marker above Soraka's head, and that's going to allow me to chase her, tower dive like a noob, and take a whole bunch of shots, but I'm still going to be able to get the kill, and then slip out of here and go back to base. Not quite that easy against real players and not AI bots. So there it is, there's Blood Scent. But gives you an idea of what you can do. Warwick's very good at chasing down low health heroes with his Blood Scent. And now I would probably buy boots and then keep building toward Madrid's Blood Racer. You can see attack damage, attack speed, armor, and when you deal damage, you take away 4% of the target's max health each time you hit them. So pop off a Warwick taunt, and yeah, that's about it. From this point, you could go back to the jungle, you can try to push lanes, you can try to gank people. It's really up to you from this point. There are many different ways to jungle, and you can do it differently with different heroes. So again, I encourage you, get out there, experiment, run some practice games, see what works for you. This is just the basics, so I hope this was useful. Until next time, take care and have fun, guys.